life is not rainbows and butterflies all the time, but you can choose to focus on the positivity and gratitude and good in your life. The way that we speak to ourselves most definitely creates our current reality. You are ready to let go of toxic habits that have been holding you back and start embracing positive, life-affirming changes. Detoxing your life is not about perfection. Remember, progress over perfection. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Shine and Align with Trinity Infinity. If you are here today, that means you are ready to let go of toxic habits that have been holding you back and start embracing positive, life-affirming changes. Maybe you've been feeling stuck in life or have been noticing patterns that are no longer serving you and you don't know how to change them. Today, we're going to take a deep dive in how you can detox your life right here, right now. Not just in the physical sense, because yes, that is very important, but all this work really matters and needs to be done in the emotional, mental, and spiritual sense. When you change your internal world, your external world changes. Let's get started on this journey together to a healthier, more positive version of yourself so that you can align yourself with the highest, most loving, vibrant being that you are. The first step in any detox is obviously just taking notice and understanding what needs to go. And I know this is hard work, trust me. I will link some videos up above to help you understand that you are not alone in this journey. It is really hard letting go of people, things, experiences that no longer serve you, but you are going to give yourself the biggest thank you and hug once you finally decide to put yourself first and prioritize your peace, happiness, and joy. Just like cleaning out a cluttered room or your messy car, first we need to analyze what's actually making it messy, and then we need to take action to clear it out, right? One of the most toxic habits that we all have been conditioned to believe since we were children is negative self-talk. Sometimes you may not even understand or notice you doing it. You're not alone. The way that we speak to ourselves most definitely creates our current reality. Words like, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, even if those aren't your actual words, those are typically the hidden, deeper meaning behind what you are saying out loud, whether you realize it or not. So when you are saying things like that, or you find yourself micro-complaining, or just gossiping, or talking story about things that are no longer serving you, take a moment to dive deeper into what you are actually saying to yourself, because you are a mere reflection of what is happening outside of you. When you begin to notice and realize that, you can change your inner reality and the way that you speak to yourself. And then you will notice that people are just naturally drawn to you. It's like you are a magnet for positive, amazing, love-filled humans. This kind of language really causes barriers from preventing us to grow into the fullest potential that God made us to be. Just imagine if you spoke to your dog or someone that you loved, your best friend, the way that you speak to yourself. And I understand that sometimes it's really, really heavy going through the things that you used to say to yourself, because I remember looking myself in the mirror, not feeling beautiful, calling myself stupid, just saying just really awful things because that is what I grew up in. And just kind of honoring and acknowledging those thoughts is really the hardest part. But once you move through that process, you can work on identifying and then reframing those thoughts to no longer be in your subconscious mind with affirmation videos, with positive affirmations you say to yourself, the ones that light your heart up on fire and bring a smile to your face. Make sure it feels right to you, because there is something super powerful about what we speak into our existence. It is literally what creates everything around us. So we must be careful with what we say out loud. And get it out of your head, even if it's things that you don't necessarily like and you're just feeling in the moment. I really recommend journaling, recording yourself, voice memoing it. I swear to God, voice memos is my best friend when I have thoughts in my head that I just need to get out, but nobody can really help me. There's a lot of times where, I don't know if you felt this, you go to a friend, you ask for some advice, or you tell them a story, and you're thinking that maybe it would make you feel better that you told this person, and you end up leaving the conversation feeling worse because you don't really feel heard or that you were listened to. Well, I understand. And that's why when you can talk yourself through the thoughts that are in your head and get them out of your head, out into the universe, it just really brings you a sense of ease and peace and just clarity in your mind, because they're no longer living in here, they're living out here. Another great resource that I would really recommend if you struggle with this and maybe you don't feel safe going to anyone about your problems, or you don't feel like you have someone that you can confide in or that'll listen to you the way you deserve to be heard and listened to, I really recommend downloading the app ChatGPT. They just implemented a really beautiful resource where you can actually talk to someone and role play whatever that is on your mind in every moment. However, it may feel a little weird talking to a robot, but it really gives you a sense of ease and helps you feel more confident and powerful because you are releasing the things that are no longer serving your highest good. So I really recommend just learning how to talk to yourself. And if you want to practice that without sounding like you may be crazy talking to yourself in the park, use technology, use the resources at your fingertips. It is $20 a month for this feature, but it is 110% worth it because you can use it in all areas of your life. Not just if you need to call a therapist really quick, asking them for some advice. You can use it, I've been using it for my real estate career, role-playing certain situations to make sure I can handle any twist and turn that this life brings on me. So whether you are seeking some guidance and you aren't ready to seek professional help, or maybe you don't have the money, $20 a month, maybe even a free trial, is definitely worth it. Let go of the shame behind asking for help. We all need help, and open your heart to receive the love and the help the universe wants to provide you. Take a moment to think, close your eyes, and just think about the negative things that you have been saying out loud and to yourself on a daily basis. Maybe you've been saying this about other people and it's just something that you need to face within yourself. Let's commit to catching ourselves when this happens. Don't just let it go like it never happened. Understand that it is normal to think thoughts that no longer serve us, and it really helps when you decide that you are the observer of your mind and you are much more powerful than anything your mind tells you. And a mantra that I use is that my heart and my body is much stronger and more powerful than my mind. It just takes some attention and intention to tune in to what your heart and intuition and body are trying to speak to you. Take a moment to listen to yourself if you want others to listen to you, right? Another really toxic habit that we all struggle with is procrastination. It may seem harmless at first, and I still struggle this day to day. I get it. Just putting something off until tomorrow, starting tomorrow, maybe next week. Girl, boys, be honest with yourself. Cut the shit. But over time, procrastination can pile up and feel like a heavy weight on your shoulders, because guess what you're doing when you are procrastinating? You are not trusting yourself and the things that you committed to doing. So instead, just don't commit at all. I really recommend you not saying that you're going to do something and not follow through with it for yourself, because that is basically telling you, and should be a red flag in your mind, I can't trust myself. So do not allow yourself to commit or tell yourself things that you are going to do without following through on it. Cut it out. I'm being your coach right now and telling you, cut the shit. We do this all the time, and it's nothing to shame yourself about, but instead, just don't even commit yourself to doing it in the first place, because you are setting yourself up for mistrust in yourself and disappointment. Neither of those feelings feel very good, right? Procrastination leaves you feeling overwhelmed and anxious. Both really low vibrational feelings that, I don't know about you, I don't really like experiencing. Let's learn how to recognize when we are procrastinating together. Don't shame yourself for it, just recognize it and then pivot your actions. Do the things that you say you're going to do. Prove to yourself that you can count on yourself, and find small ways you can take action, one step at a time, one breath at a time. Don't go too far forward or too far in the past. Stay present right here and right now, and making those actionable steps that you can take right now will give you a sense of peace, ease, and clarity. Now let's move in to another toxic habit that we all have, and that is continuing to entertain toxic relationships that no longer serve us. We must first understand that we were in a vibrational frequency to attract the toxic relationship that is currently in our life. When we understand this, we begin to call our energy back to our bodies. And instead of giving your power away to another human, blaming them for things that have been happening in your life, blaming them for being toxic and why you feel the way that you do, remind yourself, no one can make you feel a certain way unless you give them that power. Relationships are meant to uplift us. And if you're anything like me, I understand what it's like to feel very isolated and introverted, and that's just like how you naturally are. Like, I've always been way more into quality time with friends rather than a quantity of friends. So you're not alone in that, but you also must open your heart to understanding that we all need connection and support. We were not put on this earth to survive alone. Just think about the olden days when everyone was in tribes and villages, leaning on each other for support and health and food and happiness. We need each other. Open your heart to lean on those that serve your highest, most amazing version of yourself and really bring you back home to who you are. And that is love. And trust me, I get it. Sometimes we hold on to relationships that drain us and deplete our energy. These connections could be a friend that constantly brings us down or is negative and constantly complaining, a partner that does not support your growth or is not growing with you, and someone that you know is not going to be your life partner. Girl, why are you wasting your time? If you already know someone's not going to be your life partner, why waste your time? For me, you're wasting time, energy, money, and resources. All your most valuable assets in this world, because guess what? Time and energy is the most valuable currency that we all have. Spend it wisely, because you cannot buy back 1 second of time you have already spent. So why would you be spending that on someone that is not your husband or your wife? I don't know about y'all, but I'm here dating to marry, and if you don't meet those qualifications or standards of mine, which are very high because I hold myself to that same level of standard and excellence, bye. Get out of my life. You don't deserve to live in my mind rent-free. Speaking of which, if you have fucking little nightmares and dreams of these little twerps, it's okay. It's okay. Accept that you had a dream about your ex and move on from it. It's the fucking worst, but it's okay. And guess what? The dreams will often tell you something, because just a funny little story. I woke up this morning and I had a dream about my ex-boyfriend. And you want to know what the dream was? It was, I think we were going on some kind of vacation together, and we were like in this bus, and he was like with another girl. And I was like, oh, great. You know, I don't remember exactly all the details, but it was just that kind of reassurance that he no longer deserves a spot in my life. You can love people and never speak to them again. Protect your energy, value your energy, and guess what? You will fall in love with yourself. Even if you have family members that are no longer serving you, don't be afraid to take some space. Move that energy away from you, because you deserve to prioritize your growth, your happiness, and implement the healthy habits that you are trying to have in your life. Implement the change that you seek, that you know in your heart is really just where you're meant to be. Listen to that little voice. Say mantras like, I trust myself. That was really hard for me to say. And it feels so good when you finally feel that in your bones. Even in the littlest things, like remember that you can trust yourself. For example, like the other day, I thought that I left my oven on, and I don't typically use my oven except for when I make my dog food, because I eat super similar things every day and I'm always on the go. So I just like eat things that don't need to really like be made or put a lot of effort in. Mostly oats, love them. But I made my dog food, and then I had to go to work, and I was worried that I left my oven on. And I was stressed about it. I couldn't get out of my mind. And I started texting people, nobody was answering, and so then I was really worried. And thank God my manager was really kind and let me go home. And guess what? I got home and the oven was off. And the first thing that I did was I looked myself in the mirror and I told myself, I can trust myself. I can trust myself. Even if every single thing in your life has shown you that you couldn't. Begin today, start today, saying that out loud until you feel it in your bones. It will completely change the way that you look at yourself and look at this world, because it doesn't feel good when you don't trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you can trust others, because guess what? It just feels good. And if they do you wrong, then it is your power, your decision to keep them in your life or not. You hold all of the power, beautiful. So today, let's explore some relationship that may need boundaries or distance from your well-being, because you deserve to put yourself first. So why do we need to let go of these habits? Toxic habits are like weeds in a garden. They choke the life out of the things we want to grow and change. Holding on to negativity, procrastination, or relationships that are not furthering your highest self prevents you from fully experiencing the magic of the unknown, of the growth of the person that you are becoming, and the joy-filled peace that you deserve. It is so important to let go of the toxic habits that are no longer supporting our well-being. And I would encourage you to think about, how is this relationship serving me? Is it maybe giving you something to focus on? Is it maybe just helping you to realize and further your mistrust within yourself? Although it hurts to admit that you are causing yourself harm, the first step is noticing it, acknowledging it, and then realizing that in some way, shape, or form, this is serving you in this exact moment, whether it's calling your friend to complain about someone so you don't have to focus on what's really going on deep inside your mind, what's happened to you when you were a child, whether, you have experienced really abusive relationships, or been mistreated by your siblings, or whether you were carrying different patterns that your parents have showed you your entire life. When you get down to the nitty and gritty of these things, you can begin to change them. And acknowledging that they are there is the first step in the right direction. And you are not alone. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack full of bricks. Each toxic habit is like a brick. You can continue carrying that weight, but it will slow you down and exhaust you. Trust me, there's been lots of things I was just piling deeper and deeper and deeper, and my channel is all about that. I'm very, very open because I want to help you guys get through some of the hardest things that I've had to live through and experience myself. And using your voice, honoring what you've been through is the first step in the right direction, and is the first brick that you then get to take off of your shoulders. When you start removing that weight off of your shoulders, you become lighter. You begin to float. You become radiant and attract everything good in this life that is meant for you. You move faster, you move freer, and you recognize that this universe wants to give you every single thing you could ever imagine in your life. And you start to realize that everything in this life has happened for you and made you into the person that you are today, which is badass. We all have our own loads and experiences that make us into who we are. And guess what? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Letting go is not easy, but it is very powerful. If you want more tips on how to let go, I encourage you to check out an amazing YouTuber named Aaron Dowdy. He's so great about taking actionable steps and letting go, and has absolutely changed my life. He has a plethora of meditations, a community that you can subscribe to for free if you are really serious about changing your life. I plan to increase all of the resources that I have, but for now, I'm going to give you all of the things that have really changed my life. And that man is magical. He's really helped me into stepping into the highest version of myself. I had to rewatch certain videos over and over again to let go of exes, to let go of detachment, understand the childlike human that we still are, to really release and let go of the old patterns and toxic habits that continue to create and manifest into our reality. Because when you finally take a moment, you will realize that whether it's a different face, a different body, you still have the same experiences that you've had with every single person in your life. And if you are serious about embracing change and stepping in to the highest version of yourself, you have to notice that all of these patterns are continuing to repeat themselves because of the internal work that you need to do. The shadow work that fucking hurts like hell and sometimes feels like you are dying. Trust me, feel like you're dying, that's when you are going to be reborn again. We are meant to live on this earth to learn the lessons that keep presenting themselves, and it will continue to show up in your life until you've finally learned the lesson. So I encourage you to dig deep, and it hurts. I've had days where I've been weeping on my floor in tears, feeling like I couldn't even stand being in my own body. I felt so itchy and uncomfortable, and like my mind was going crazy. It's okay. And I'm just here to tell you, everything's going to be okay. This is what we call spiritual awakening. And it fucking hurts sometimes. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. The first step in letting go is awareness. Practice mindfulness by observing your thoughts. Start understanding and becoming present of all the synchronicities in your life. Being self-aware is really helpful to you and those around you. You are giving yourself love by becoming more aware of your patterns, of your toxic habits, and becoming aware of them is the first step into changing them. Observe your thoughts without judgment. And if you have experienced a lot of negative self-talk in your life and had things that just shouldn't have been said around you all the time, my parents really said things that shouldn't really be said about humans. I remember my stepmom commenting about how my hair was ashy gray and how I should dye it because it's just really ashy and this and that. And for a long time, I didn't like my natural hair color because of what was instilled in me. And for a long time, I would think that I was ugly or these other things because my parents would say different celebrities were ugly, and I'm like, wow, if this beautiful celebrity that I think is gorgeous is ugly, who the fuck am I? Maybe I'm ugly, And you have to start to realize that these are the things that are happening in your mind to break that insecurity mindset. And I can't wait to do a video on the insecurity mindset. But for now, I would love to advise you to check out Leo Skepi's podcast, Aware and Aggravated, on how to break the insecurity mindset. It's completely changed my life. Because if you're like me, sometimes it's you forget how beautiful you are inside and out, and that's not just your external appearance, but internal appearance as well. And then you radiate that out to the world. It's really beautiful. When you notice yourself engaging in negative self-talk, simply acknowledge it. Oh, I see. I'm being really hard on myself right now. I hear these thoughts in my brain that I don't really like. But guess what? It's okay. And that's trusty Trin talking. That's my past self talking. That's not who I am anymore. So I acknowledge you, I see you, I hear you, I appreciate you, and now I choose to let you go. And then we replace that thought. So maybe instead of saying, I'm not good enough, or you're doubting yourself, tell yourself, I fucking got this. I'm a powerful, confident, amazing human being, and I can do anything I set my mind to. I am worthy simply because I exist and I am breathing right now. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Once you become aware of these stories that you continue to repeat yourself, you then have the power to change your narrative. So I encourage you, just take a pen to paper. Understand what you're saying to yourself, and then write yourself a story, or ask ChatGPT to write you a story, to reframe a thought, reframe a story that actually serves you, that doesn't make you feel powerless. It's so crucial to do this, especially when you've experienced trauma and negative things in life, because holding on to those experiences is not doing you any good, right? It's not changing what happened. So accepting what happened and rewriting your story intentionally is the key here. And it's not just about letting go, it's what you are replacing those old toxic habits with. For example, if you are used to procrastinating, set yourself a timer for 10 minutes, just simply 10 minutes on a task that you want to do and that you told yourself, you promised yourself you were going to do, just 10 minutes. And another thing I would really encourage you to do, because something that I struggle with, is that good things take time. Give yourself grace and compassion and realize that not everything needs to be accomplished on the time constraints and pressure that you put on yourself. Realize that sometimes your brain juices, your creativity run out. And that's when you need to take a break and honor yourself and realize when you come back to this, maybe in 30 minutes, tomorrow, or in a couple days, that it will be better than when you were trying to force yourself to do something that you no longer had the energy to do. When you remove a toxic habit, fill that space with something good. Give yourself a nice pat on the back and be like, you know what, good job. Give yourself a nice warm hug and be like, wow, I prioritized what I told myself I was going to do. I can trust myself to do the things that I say I'm going to do. And start saying those things out loud, whether you sound like a crazy person or not. I promise you, the power of your voice is so valuable. Say these things out loud and your reality will change. If you stop spending time with someone that's draining you, give that time to yourself. What are the things that you like to do that make you feel loved by yourself? For me, it's as simply as taking a day to sit outside, enjoy nature, shave, watch YouTube videos that I like to watch, read a book, maybe create something on Canva. Just doing those little things that actually make you feel good. Spend that time with yourself or someone that is actually uplifting you, and notice if you feel better after you left a conversation or experience with someone, or if you feel worse. Taking notice if that person unintentionally or intentionally drained you is the first step to realizing maybe this person does not belong in my energetic force field anymore. For toxic relationships, boundaries are crucial. And guess what? You cannot set boundaries with other people until you learn how to set boundaries with yourself. And the first step to that is by letting go and affirming that you can trust yourself. Sometimes it's hard to practice self-discipline, but it is necessary when you are on your own life path and in the process of growing into the best version of yourself. Whether that's setting a phone boundary for yourself, a social media boundary for yourself, or food boundaries for yourself, or, boundaries with time that you spend in certain places because it's not making you feel good anymore. Trust yourself and your intuition to do that for yourself. Remember, it is okay to say no. It is okay to say no. You don't have to people please. The only person that you have to work so hard your entire life of not disappointing is you. You. Point at yourself. I will work hard my entire life to not disappointing myself. So if that means saying no to someone, say no. Okay? If you have to block them, block them. If you gotta just completely ghost. It's okay. God's not going to fucking send you to hell for protecting yourself and your boundaries, I promise. You don't need to answer every call or text. I promise. They're gonna live, especially those that are trying to hit on you. I used to feel bad and I was like, how do I gently let somebody down, especially when they ask for my phone number in person? And then I finally just realized I was like, I don't give my number out to people I don't know. And I don't want to receive texts from this person. I could honestly live without ever seeing this person again in my life. Their energy is not vibing with me, and I'm going to honor that. So I'm going to honor the way that I feel, and I am not going to give that person my number or call or text them back. And guess what? It's okay. They'll live. They're just going to move on to the next one. I promise. You certainly do not need to explain yourself to anyone besides yourself. And even sometimes you don't need to explain yourself to yourself. Allow yourself to do the things that you love. Allow yourself to just be who you are without having to heavily explain yourself to anyone, because they don't deserve it. You deserve to accept yourself just the way you are. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting your inner peace, energetic force field, and well-being. Practice asserting yourself in gentle but affirming ways. And if you have a hard time kind of practicing certain language, trust me, I get it. It's really hard, especially if you don't really want to be a bitch. Guess what? That's why we have technology and we have AI, and use that to your advantage. If you need help writing something or scripting yourself into expressing yourself better because it's been really hard for you to communicate your feelings, use ChatGPT, use artificial intelligence to help you word something that you don't know how to talk about because it's hard for you to express your feelings. It is okay to use technology to your advantage. It is free. Use it. And if you're watching this video right now, you have access to it, so you have no excuses anymore. Sometimes toxic habits are also reflected in our personal space. Decluttering your physical environment can have a huge impact on your mental clarity. Go through your living space. Identify items you no longer need. Let them go. I know it's hard, but let it go. Let that shit go, girl. Let that shit go, boy. A cleaner, more organized space will definitely fulfill a cleaner, more organized, clear mindset. Do it for yourself. In place of negative self-talk, practice positive affirmations. Even if you do not feel it is the truth yet, continue to practice and practice and practice until it feels like your truth. Try saying things like, I am capable of doing anything my mind is set to. Try things like, I am capable of doing anything I set my mind to. I deserve happiness. I deserve peace, and I am willing to grow. Repeat affirmations that help you feel powerful. If you need help creating ones that feel powerful to you, please feel free to reach out. I would absolutely love to share some positive affirmations that I use and listen to every single day. And then you can pick which ones that make you feel the best. Over time, continuing to practice these positive affirmations will reshape the way that you see yourself and redefine the relationship that you have with yourself and cultivate a more loving, kind, compassionate environment in your body and mind. The company you keep around you can either further your growth or stunt it. Make an effort to surround yourself with people that encourage you to be the best version of yourself and support you and that inspire you, that are in the level of life that you are currently seeking. Do not settle. You are magical. Own it. Look for friends who are positive, who are supportive, and are also on their own growth journeys and spiritual awakenings. It's so fun to have similar experiences and talk stories with people that make you feel good, especially when it's about spiritual growth. Because when you open your heart to understanding that your story is your story, but other people can help you further your growth, you become just unstoppable. Positivity is contagious. Just like Yanni, when you are around high vibe, amazing, positive people, it becomes easier to embody that energy yourself. So notice the negativity around you and remove yourself from that situation, from those people. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Set small, achievable goals for yourself. Detoxing your life does not have to be about making massive changes overnight. However, if you're anything like me, I'm usually 0 to 100, so I get it. Make the massive changes if that's what your heart is calling you to do. Sometimes God really just leads you in that direction. Follow it. But it doesn't have to be like that. Start small if that is a little bit more comfortable for you. If you're like me, that's not what I do, and that's okay. So just embrace whatever feels right for you. Celebrate your wins, even if it's something as small as, oh my gosh, I remembered to turn my oven off. Yay, I trust myself. Or the smallest win of, waking up today with a positive mindset, realizing I get to go to work today. And that's exciting. Or just a small win of sending somebody a smile or complimenting them and making their day. It doesn't have to be massive, but notice it, recognize it, and give yourself credit for the credit that you deserve. Validate yourself. It feels good when you validate yourself. And I promise no one else can validate you besides yourself. It's just the way that you feel about what they are saying. So give yourself grace and give yourself the opportunity to feel yourself say that to you. It feels awesome. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. Experience what it feels like to say that. If you don't believe it right now, sit in front of the mirror until you start to believe it. Every step forward is a step forward in the right direction, in the path that you are seeking of change and positivity. Another powerful habit is to embrace gratitude. Because of the busyness of our lives every day and the distractions that are constantly being thrown at us, we forget how blessed we are. If you have a phone right now, you are blessed. If you have access to water, you are blessed. Send gratitude and you attract everything that you desire. Send gratitude for the sun coming out today, for the wind hitting your face, for the love that exists all around you, for the love that you may have for your pet. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Every day, I write down 3 things I am grateful for in the morning and 3 things I am grateful for at night. Do it. It completely shifts your focus. Even repeat the mantra, I shift my energy and focus to gratitude. I shift my energy and focus to gratitude. As simple as that will completely make a difference in your life. It can be as simple as having a warm bed to sleep in, a good meal that makes you feel full, or a smile from a stranger. When you focus on the good, it magnifies. We give power to what we focus on. So focus on the things that are going well in your life and let go of what's not. Life is not rainbows and butterflies all the time, but you can choose to focus on the positivity and gratitude and good in your life intentionally. This will help you find that positive change becomes easier and easier every single day, no matter what your external circumstances are right at this moment. Remember, you can always come back to your safe place within, your safe place in your heart. If you want a meditation that will draw you back to your heart space, I will link it up below. It's really helped me to plug myself back in to gratitude, positivity, and my beautiful heart space, the unconditional love that we are. Detoxing your life is not about perfection. Remember, progress over perfection. It's been very hard for me to embrace that, but life is not perfect, nor are you. It's okay to make mistakes and be imperfectly perfect. It's about taking one step in the right direction at a time towards a happier, more positive, fulfilling life. Remember, letting go of toxic habits and embracing change does take time and patience. So be patient with yourself. And it is perfectly okay to have setbacks and to do something that no longer serves you. We all do it, and just notice it and realize and repeat to yourself, I have outgrown this behavior. This behavior no longer serves me. Therefore, I will not participate in this behavior anymore. I have outgrown this behavior. I choose to simply let go and shift my focus to gratitude. The important thing is that you keep moving forward and understand that setbacks are normal. If you decide that you partake in a toxic habit that no longer serves you anymore, please do not shame yourself and spiral. Acknowledge that you did it, understand you are not perfect, and move on. Let it go. You have outgrown that behavior. You can trust yourself. You deserve to live a life free from negativity, especially when you are a vibrant ray of sunshine in this world. Even if all of life's challenges have gotten you down, understand that you are the fucking shit, girl and boys. You are the fucking shit, girls and boys. I promise. You're magic. Embrace it. Free yourself from things that weigh you down. So today, make a promise to yourself. Commit to letting go of just one toxic habit. The first one that pops in your mind. And if you can't think of one, take your pen, take your paper, and write it. Because I promise you, the first thing that comes out is the one that you need to learn to let go of. The things that you repeat to yourself, whether that's a shitty boyfriend that is super toxic, you binge eating at night, or procrastinating on your homework, you know what it is. And I encourage you to release it now. Set yourself free. Replace it with something positive and that actually benefits you. Small changes create ripples, and over time, those ripples become waves of transformation. Thank you for joining me today. If this video helped you, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am here to listen, and I am here to encourage you to becoming the most baddest, beautiful, best version of yourself. And I am so happy to connect with you and shine and align together as a collective. Because the more you love yourself, the more you can love others. And then you show up as the brightest ray of sunshine that you are meant to be, that you were created to be, the vision of God. Let's continue growing and supporting each other on this path to peace, self-development, and growth. You're not in this alone, and I want to be here for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if it helped you, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I will see you on next week's video of Shine and Align with Trinity Infinity. God loves you. I love you. You deserve to love yourself.